I got an IELTS 8.5 and a SAT 1520, but I still didn't get into the US colleges that I dreamed of. Instead of ending my journey there, I'm documenting what comes next. What is my plan B? Hi everyone, and I am Dilbar. I'm from Uzbekistan, Andijan, a small city in my country, and I'm 18 years old. What else? I have graduated from school this year, from a regular public school. Let me first tell you about my dream of getting into the US colleges. This dream of mine started with watching the interview of one Harvard admit from my country. It was, I guess, already like around 2 years ago. So there was this one guy who got into Harvard, and I watched the interview of him, like talking about the process of applying to US colleges and how did it work out for him, what kind of things did he do, like for volunteering and different kinds of projects, because applying to the US colleges and overall to the colleges abroad, like every education system in every country works differently. So the US colleges require a lot of different things. They look at your profile, which means like your extracurriculars, which are the activities that you do like when you're not studying, basically. So, and also they look at your school GPA. They also look at things that you have done. So it started with me watching that interview of that Harvard admit, and I started thinking, okay, there are a lot of things that I need to still improve. At that time, I already had my IELTS, which was 8.5. I took it 2 years ago in 2024 September, watched that interview in February, and I was supposed to apply to colleges in then upcoming November or December. Like there are 2 cycles you can apply to the US colleges. The first one is called ED, early decision, so you will apply like in November, and then there is RZ, regular decisions, which you will be applying to colleges in January, in the beginning of January. I got my IELTS and then started looking for different projects, and I started volunteering for big scale projects and also not really popular ones too. I focused mostly on those projects to which I genuinely wanted to contribute. Then after I started building my extracurricular activities, you need 10 of them, and so I started off with 5-6, and then I started preparing for the SAT. This is the test. This is a standardized test. SAT stands for Scholastic Assessment Test, but I still don't know if that's true, because there is a lot of debate going on still, even after all these years. They say that it has no official acronym. The worst part is just when I thought that IELTS would help me with the SAT, because I knew English really well, I thought that in the verbal part, there are 2 parts in SAT. One is math and the second is verbal. Verbal is English, but it's not just English. It doesn't test your English skills. It's it's called EBRW, which means evidence-based reading and writing. And in that verbal part, I thought just because I had my IELTS, I would get that perfect 800 score really easily in like 2 months time of prep. But hello, girl, no, this is not gonna happen. I was delusional enough to think of that, but yeah, I think I was just naive. Like, I didn't know much about this SAT thing, but once I started preparing for it, I understood how it was like IELTS and SAT, they are 2 different worlds. I thought that 3 months of prep would be like more than enough for me to get 1500 plus. The maximum you can get is 1600. So I signed up for this first test of mine after 3 months of prep. 2 months were like at the learning center, and 1 month I self-studied. And I signed up for this test, which happened 7th June, and I took that exam. SAT is like a test that doesn't happen as much regularly or frequently as IELTS does. Like, it's really, I don't know how they identify those exam dates, how they set them out. By them, I mean the College Board, which is the organization that, you know, is responsible for SAT. So I don't know how they set the dates out for the exams, but they don't happen every month. So after June, I had only, you know, the next date was in August, so I didn't want to, I just wanted to try myself, you know. I just wanted to be done with SAT. I took the exam, and after 13 days, the results come out. I don't remember. So either on the 20th or the 21st June, my results came out. So I was so worried, but you know what? You have this instinct, right? When you know that you did well in the test, or when you did not really well. So I was feeling as if I got 1400. Like, I was sure that I got below 1450. Meanwhile, my family, they kept saying to me, no, you have IELTS 8.5, so how come you will get like, they were sure that I would get 1500 plus because I assured them so. And plus, they didn't know about the SAT at all. Like, what kind of test was that? How difficult is that? Like, nothing at all. And my results were 1340. I got 670 in both sections, in both maths and the verbal part. But what I was really mad at was my English. Like, I was so disappointed in myself. I did not expect that low of a score. But then you eventually come to realize, apparently, that not everyone gets the perfect score in their first try. In fact, no one does. Like, everyone I know who is around me, like, they have taken SAT at least 3 times, at least. And those who have 1600 or 1550 plus, they really have taken the SAT 4, 5, 6, 8 times. So I again logged in for the August exam, and I started preparing. This time at a different learning center. So I moved to Tashkent from Andijan to study at that learning center. Lessons were good, but in math classes, I would not understand anything. Like, I would not even be able to do my homework just because I avoided them, because I couldn't deal with them. Like, the problems, I would look at them and didn't know how to solve. Yeah, I struggled a lot with math, and I, you know, when August came, I kept saying to myself, let's take it in September. But then September came, and I said to myself, no, I don't think I'm ready, because, you know, I was trying out some mock tests, and I was getting the scores that were not my desired ones, especially in math. And then I said to myself, no, I will definitely take in October. And then October passed. So I basically in October started getting like 720, 750, 740. Even once I got 780 in English part of the SAT, but it was really near my exam. After the October exam date passed, like it was gone, I was looking at the dates. Because I was behind in SAT, naturally I was, you know, delaying my early decision to regular decision. And in November, I registered for the exam, SAT, and I got my results, which were 1480. Let me tell you the interesting part. So in my last ever mocks, around 2 weeks before my exam in November, I was getting in math 700, 710, not above. So even 690, I was getting a lot of 690s in mocks. So I was worried about my math, because math is apparently the relatively easier section when you compare it to the English part. So I really decided to focus on my math rather than English. I approached my teacher, math teacher, and asked him what things could I do to improve my math score for like 50 plus points in 1 week. And you know what? My teacher didn't say it was impossible. He just gave some practices for me to do, and he said you should do a lot of problem sets that are hard. And I started doing them. After 1 week of really strongly working on my math, I took the exam and got 1480. So the sub scores were 760 in math and 720 in English. I was really surprised at my math score because it was higher than I expected. But I was disappointed in myself again for my 720 in English, because my dream was to get 800 or at least 750 plus. But still, then my teachers, my friends, my family, they were saying that I got a really amazing score in English part and that I should keep improving my math section. So I did. I kept working on my math and again English. I didn't stop working on my English section at all, and I prepared for the December exam. This time I got 1490 when I thought I would get finally my 1500 plus. But since there is this thing called super score in SAT, this is a really good thing that they have, a really good feature that SAT offers. It means super score is something that, imagine that you have taken SAT 10 times, and out of those 10 times, you get to choose the highest score in math. For example, this time that you took the exam, imagine you had 800 in math, but let's say 500 in English. And this time that you took the exam, you had, let's say 720 in English, but 620 in math. So super score is something that you can combine this time of yours with this time, which means 800 in math plus 720 in English, and this will give you 1520 in SAT. I did the same. I combined my November exam English section 720 with my December exam 800 in math section, and I had my 1520 super score. Nowadays, now looking back at those times, I am quite proud of myself because I still managed to get 1500 plus, even if it's a super score. Now, I don't care. After that, I applied to colleges. There is such a long process into it, a lot of stuff that happened, but I'm just going to move on. After I turned in my applications to the colleges, which were 12, I applied to 12 colleges overall. I had to wait for 2.5 months for my results to come in, and result after result, I was getting rejections. And that's when I realized that I now have to have a plan B, because I didn't have before. I felt absolutely devastated and demotivated. I decided not to mourn over the stuff that didn't happen and was focusing on the stuff that did happen. In my country, there's this stuff called the TM. It's a test that you have to take to get into our local universities, and this year I was extremely lucky because our government came up with one law which said that applicants this year who have SAT of 1200 plus, they can get into any university that they want to, any local university that they want, for a grant of 4 years. But the only condition that they have is your major should be in either economics or finance, something in those fields, because SAT measures SAT is like math and English. I consulted with my parents and we discussed this a lot, and finally I decided to apply to a local university. There they have my major, basically international economics and management it's called. I have just applied and should wait for the results for until August, I think. I also applied to other universities which are private. Still don't know which one is the right one for me, or which one will give me the best education. And by the best, I mean I want to get higher education that really allows me to explore different fields within my major and be able to see and experience everything, and then choosing my career path. While I still haven't decided where I'm going to be studying, I didn't stop working on myself. So I took APs, micro and macroeconomics. APs are basically another kind of test that is held in the US, and there are a lot of different subjects that you can take APs from. So I took economics. There are 2 courses that you can take for economics, so those are micro and macroeconomics. So I took them in May. By the way, APs happen only once in a year, so I took them and I'm waiting for the results still. They should come out on 6th of July, so stay tuned for that. I think I'll upload a reaction video. Other than that, I am now preparing for AP Calculus. Also, I play tennis. Not professionally, but yeah, I'm learning to. So yeah, this is how my summer is now passing. But I'm still grateful for all the experiences that I have had with all this college application process and different kinds of tests, and still exploring my interests. Before I end this video, I also want to tell you one thing. So I'm planning to, and I should retake my IELTS because it's soon going to expire. I took it, as I said in the beginning of the video, in 2024, and now it's 2026. So it will expire in September, and my aim is to get now a 9 in IELTS. I hope you guys take along, and we will just be learning and growing together. Yeah, I'm excited to take you along, guys, with me. So I'm planning to record a lot of cool stuff here in my YouTube channel. Soon I will be a university student, so I think there will be a lot of vlogs from my university life, and also exploring myself, my interests, retaking IELTS. I also will be giving a lot of advice if you want, guys. And if you have any kind of questions regarding this video, in which I talked about different kinds of things, I think this which were, which came as kind of a shock to you guys, which might have come to you. So you can ask any kind of questions, and according to your preferences, I will record my next video. We can talk about any kind of topic. So I will also be recording videos mainly about studying abroad opportunities, just reflecting on my journey. And yeah, if you guys also one of the few people who really always strives to improve themselves, no matter how hard life sometimes can be, or how hard it gets sometimes to achieve what you want, I think you belong here. Overall, thank you guys for watching this video, and I hope you guys subscribe and like and comment any questions that you have, because engaging with the content that I will be recording and uploading will really help me to keep pushing myself and posting more videos. So I hope you like this. See you in the next video.